Hello everyone! How are you all doing? I trust you guys are doing well. Alright, welcome back again to my channel or my platform. Okay, today I want to talk about hypertension. I want us to have an overview of what hypertension is, the possible risk factors, and then the normal ranges of a hypertension, and then if there are symptoms or signs you're gonna see, right, whenever you are hypertensive. So please, as usual, if you have not been following me, please try and follow me and watch my videos. I will always, request you to share my videos with your friends. Please, you might be helping people. See, we are just talking about our health. It's things that promote healthy living. You might be helping people, okay? At the same time, creating awareness about the page. Thank you so much for your support. So, without wasting much time, let's dive right in. So, let's just review some important key facts about hypertension. Hypertension is a non-communicable disease. In that sense, it cannot be transmitted from person to person, the same way we transmit something like hepatitis or HIV or any other diseases. Hypertension is non-communicable, right? It cannot be transferred from person to person, all right? Then WHO revealed that about 1.28 billion of adults between the age of 30 to 67 years old are currently living with hypertension. And unfortunately, 46% of this population are not aware that they have hypertension. They're not aware that they have hypertension. Then, we all know that hypertension is one of the major cause of premature death. Having all these facts in our mind, what is hypertension? So hypertension means when the pressure in the walls of the blood vessel is too high. We know that our heart is a pumping machine. Whenever it pumps blood, it comes from the heart to the whole circulation. And the vessels that carry the blood from the heart to all the circulations are arteries. So when this blood flows the same way water flows on the tap, when they flow in a very high pressure, we call it hypertension. When the pressure is very low, they call it hypotension. But today I'll be concentrating on hypertension. So hypertension simply means when the pressure in the walls of the blood vessel is too high. Currently, the WHO says when it's higher than 140 over 90 millimeters of mercury. All right. So now this blood pressure is measured in a unit called millimeters of mercury, and then is represented in two numbers. We have the top number, or what we call the systolic number, then we have the bottom number or the diastolic number. I will explain what they really mean. The top number or the systolic number means the pressure in the walls of the artery when the heart contracts. When your heart beats, the pressure it exerts on the walls of the artery is called systolic. So whenever it is bigger than 140 millimeters of mercury is high, you are considered to be hypertensive. Now, then the bottom number or the diastolic is the pressure on the walls of the artery when the heart relaxes or when the heart is at rest. And whenever it's greater than 90 millimeters of mercury, you are considered to be hypertensive. That is simple as that. So let's consider the risk factors because we said is non-communicable. So coming to the risk factors that can place you at higher risk of having hypertension, we have the modifiable factors and non-modifiable. From the name modifiable, it means those factors you can influence, those factors you have power over. Something like one of the modifiable risk factors is that is obesity, when you are overweight. Number two is unhealthy diet. When you eat too much of salty diet, when you eat too much of saturated fat, when you eat too much of trans fat, when you eat too much of processed food, sodium containing food, these are modifiable. When you are less active, when you don't exercise, these are modifiable. Right? You can understand what it means because you can modify them. You can, at some point, change them. Now, let's talk about unmodifiables. These are family histories. If you have family history of hypertension, your father, your mother suffer from them, you might suffer from them. Then another factor is some comorbidities. Maybe you have kidney disease, you have diabetes mellitus, you might have hypertension as a complication. All right, let's talk about the symptoms. So with this hypertension, is a very tricky one. Hypertension can go unnoticed. That is why we call it silent disease. You can present no sign for some time. You can remain asymptomatic for some time. But in a severe case, you have the following symptoms like headache, chest pain, blood vision, you might be confused, you might have, nausea or vomiting, you might even have some numbness sensations. It just depends. How will you know that you are hypertensive? You can only know that you are hypertensive by testing yourself. By testing yourself. Right? You can test yourself at home, you can test yourself at the pharmacy, you can test yourself at the hospital. All right? Now, let's talk about preventive measures. I always emphasize on the prevention. Of course, how will you prevent hypertension from, starting on the first place? Or how will you manage your life if you are hypertensive? Let's talk about lifestyle modification. Things you need to do about your lifestyle, about your diet to prevent hypertension. One is all about your diet. The Center for Disease and Control Prevention recommend eating DASH diet. DASH means dietary approaches to stop hypertension. These are just set of diets, healthy diets that contain very low salt, very low sodium, but they contain a lot of fruits and vegetables. They have a lot of fibers. They are low in calories. This set of diet is very healthy. It's heart-friendly diet. All right? Eating fruits and vegetables is good to control your hypertension. Number two is by washing your labels. Whenever you are buying stuff in the shops, look for low sodium containing food. I've talked about how to monitor your salt intake. You can watch my video on that. Then number three is by losing weight. If you are obese, you have to work on yourself, exercise, be active, right, to reduce some weight. Because when you gain some weight, it will add some pressure in some of these vessels. All right, that also increases your chances of having hypertension. That will also complicate your hypertension already. And then another good thing you have to do is that you stop smoking. Smoking causes vasoconstrictions, all right? Then stop alcohol, take alcohol in moderation. Men shouldn't drink more than two cups. Then women shouldn't drink more than one in a day. So moderate your alcohol intake. Check yourself. We have self-monitoring blood pressure apparatus everywhere. You can check yourself by yourself. You can check your blood pressure by yourself. Check yourself, my friends. It's very important, okay? Then go to the GP to check yourself. You can go to the pharmacy to check yourself. Please, it's very, very crucial, all right? We know that hypertension is a silent disease. You can never see it with your eyes. So you need to check yourself for early detection. Take your medication as prescribed. If you've given some medication for hypertension, take them as prescribed. Then go for your checkups. Don't say because you're not feeling any symptoms, you're okay. Go for your checkups because you might be having signs of stroke. There is what we call transient ischemic stroke. You might be having minor strokes without even knowing. So make sure you also attend to your appointments, okay? Then you should also eat more of homemade food. Reduce processed food. Reduce, takeaway food. They contain high level of sodium, high level of salt, high level of fats. Take healthy fats. Stop taking saturated fat. Take more of monounsaturated fat. Take more of polyunsaturated fat that are more healthy. To eat more fruits and vegetables that contain antioxidants. All right, these are basic things you're gonna do to help to prevent hypertension, and these are the things you're gonna do. If you have hypertension already, this will help to manage your hypertension and prevent some complications. Thank you for your time. Please try and share my videos. Thank you so much. Bye bye.